My story isn't one of those happily ever after tales. It's messy, complicated, and raw. My name is Sarah, and until recently I thought I had the perfect life. I was married to Mark, a successful businessman who seemed like the man of my dreams. We had a comfortable life, and for the longest time I believed that we were partners in everything, supporting each other through the highs and lows. But it all changed in one moment. It was a moment when I felt like I was just a pawn in Mark's game, a game where he valued winning over love, loyalty, and even me. Let me take you back to where it all started. Mark had been working on a huge business deal with a company called Hensley & Company. It was the kind of deal that could catapult him into a new league, bringing wealth and prestige. He spent months preparing, planning, and meeting with executives. He was obsessed with it, and I could tell it mattered more to him than anything else, even me. One evening he came home looking defeated. His eyes were cold, his face tense. I asked him what was wrong, and he explained that the deal was on the verge of collapsing. Apparently 2 key investors, Tom and David, were reconsidering their involvement, and without their support, Mark's entire plan would fall apart. "I need this deal, Sarah. You have no idea what's at stake here," he said, pacing back and forth. I tried to comfort him, but he seemed more agitated with each passing minute. Then, out of nowhere, he turned to me with an intensity that sent a chill down my spine. "I need you to do something for me," he said. "Something that could save everything." "What do you mean?" I asked, a sense of dread settling in my stomach. "Tom and David, they're big fans of you. They've always admired your charm, your beauty. I need you to spend some time with them. Show them that we're all friends, that we trust each other." I stared at him, shocked. "You're asking me to... what? Flirt with your business partners?" He sighed, frustrated. "It's just to save the deal, Sarah. Just call them, meet up, have a few drinks, be friendly, make them feel special." I couldn't believe what he was asking. It was degrading, but part of me felt like I owed it to him. After all, he'd supported me through tough times, and maybe he really did need my help. So I agreed, reluctantly. The following evening I met Tom and David at a high-end bar downtown. They were charming, much older, and clearly well-versed in the world of business. They complimented me endlessly, almost to the point of discomfort, but I kept reminding myself that it was for Mark. We talked about everything from politics to travel, and eventually they hinted that they were considering backing out of Mark's deal. I panicked, unsure how to respond, so I decided to play along with Mark's plan, laughing, leaning in closer, and pretending to be fascinated by their every word. By the end of the evening, they were both convinced to stay on board. I felt relieved, but also a little disgusted. I had done my part, and I hoped it would be enough to save Mark's deal. When I told Mark about it, he was ecstatic. He hugged me, thanking me over and over. But as the days went by, something in me started to change. I began to feel used, like I was nothing more than a tool in his business plans. Still, I brushed it off, telling myself that I was overreacting, but it didn't stop there. A week later, Mark came home with the same intense look in his eyes. This time, his request was even more unsettling. "Tom and David called," he began hesitantly. "They said they'd be more confident about the deal if they could spend more time with you." "What do you mean?" I asked, feeling my heart race. "They invited you to a weekend getaway, just you, not me," he said, his gaze avoiding mine. "Are you serious, Mark? You want me to go away with your business partners? Alone?" "It's just business, Sarah, just a few days, that's all. I promise, once the deal is sealed, you'll never have to see them again." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The man I thought loved and respected me was willing to let me go away with 2 strangers for his own gain. But he made me feel guilty, like I was letting him down if I refused. Reluctantly, I agreed, telling myself that it would be a final sacrifice to secure our future. So, I went on the trip with Tom and David. We stayed in a luxurious resort, and they spared no expense in making me feel like a queen. But every glance, every touch, every sly comment felt like a trap, reminding me of what I was really there for. On the last night, as we were having dinner, Tom leaned over and said something that turned my world upside down. "You know, Sarah, we've known about Mark's plan from the beginning," he said, smirking. "What do you mean?" I asked, feeling a knot form in my stomach. "Oh, come on," David chimed in. "He's been using you as bait. He told us you'd do anything to keep the deal alive." My heart pounded as their words sank in. Mark hadn't just asked me to help him, he had set me up, manipulating me and using me as a pawn in his twisted scheme. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. All this time, I thought I was supporting my husband, but he had only been exploiting me. I felt humiliated, betrayed, and angry. I made it through that final night, keeping my emotions in check, but I was already planning my escape. The next morning, I packed my things and left, ignoring Tom and David's attempts to stop me. When I got home, I confronted Mark, demanding to know why he had put me through such an ordeal. At first, he tried to deny everything, but eventually, he admitted it. "I needed this deal, Sarah. I thought you'd understand. I thought you loved me enough to help me succeed." "Love you?" I spat. "How could you think I'd still love you after what you did?" Mark had no answer. In that moment, I knew our marriage was over. I packed my bags and left that very night, feeling both heartbroken and free. I had been betrayed, but I had also found my strength. The strength to walk away from someone who saw me as nothing more than a tool. In the end, I realized that sometimes the people we trust the most can hurt us in ways we never imagined, but we always have a choice, to let it break us or to let it make us stronger. I chose strength,